I'm Rochelle Thibodeau.
I'm Isbin Prieto.
Nice to meet you. So do you want me to call you by Isbin or Mr. Prieto? Which do you prefer?
It's fine.
Isbin's fine? Okay, you can call me Rochelle. That's fine. So first things first, I want to talk to you a little bit about the process of this counseling. So this is being filmed for the purposes of a class. So as far as confidentiality goes, typically in counseling, the only time confidentiality would be breached would be if there's a threat, a mention of a threat to yourself or to someone else. But in this case, there will also be a professor watching this video for grading purposes to see how I'm doing, and it will also be watched for accreditation purposes. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions related to that?
Nope.
Okay. So, first, this is an informed consent. It talks about a little bit about the course that this is for, as well as background on who I am and what program it is. It's for the school counseling program. Why don't you go ahead and read through this, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just basically explains what we just talked about.
Sounds good.
Okay, so any questions there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how about you go ahead and sign? Thank you, Susan. And then I will sign as well. Okay. So now that's out of the way. So thank you for coming and being a part of this. What brings you to counseling today?
My overspending issues that I have lately that I'm tending to push away, and it's causing stress on myself.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I don't have a great job, and so I was just kind of supplementing what I wanted with a credit card and just buying stuff. It wasn't necessary, just overall irrelevant, and it just put me into debt.
Okay. So it sounds like you're telling me that you are spending above your income
Yeah.
right now using credit cards, and that's put you in quite a bit of debt. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so how are you coping with this? You mentioned you feel stressed. Is there anything else going on?
I lack of sleep sometimes.
Okay.
Just keeps me up at night, thinking about how much it's going to be to pay off, or how much time it's going to take, and how much it was clearly just a waste of time and money.
So, hearing you talking about it, sounds like there might be a little bit of disappointment in yourself going on with having to face this. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Would you say you're somewhat worried as well?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried.
Okay. What about it is concerning?
Just that there were frivolous things that I could have had better self-control, but I didn't. I kind of just let it overtake me, and then now I'm here.
Okay, so it kind of feels a little overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it seems like this spending habit has kind of gotten out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate?
Pretty accurate.
Okay, so then your goal for counseling, could that be to get this spending habit back under control, more manageable?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what would that look like? If this wasn't a problem, what would it look like?
My paycheck's going to a savings account instead of a credit card payment. That'd be pretty nice.
Okay, that sounds like that would be really great, and that'd be very smart to do too. It's going to help you plan for your future in case there's emergencies or things come up. You would have that savings account as a backup. Mm-hmm. Now, with that, are you also hoping to set aside for yourself a certain amount that you could still use on that frivolous type, so that way you could enjoy that aspect?
Definitely, I think it's better to at least have a little bit setback instead of to spend, and instead of just going cold turkey. At least I'll let myself wean it out.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like a good goal for this session is to try to, for this and future sessions, is try to figure out a way that we can get you to the point where you've got that stable savings, but you also know, okay, I have this much to spend each month on whatever I'd like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were talking a little bit earlier, you mentioned that this is all frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are you gaining when you spend that?
Like brief moments of happiness. Maybe
Okay.
like I wanted something, and I was like, oh man, I finally had it, and then afterwards I just felt regret, by remorse.
Oh, okay. That's understandable. Okay, so you are getting a sense of joy when you do buy that thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, that's good then that we're going to plan to have part of it, part of your income still go to some of that. Okay, because it's good to have that balance. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how about, kind of, since we're coming to near the end of our session, I kind of want to recap what we talked about. We talked a little bit about confidentiality and how that works, but then you discussed that the reason you came to counseling was your spending habits are getting a little bit out of control, and you want to be able to rein that back in and still enjoy buying those things that gives you joy, but with a balance, so that way you still have that savings account to help you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay. So can I assign you some, well first, before I assign you some homework, I want to ask you, what are you doing right now to cope with this frivolous spending?
Tend to stay off websites that I'm allowed to buy stuff on. Just tend to stay off the internet sometimes, and not really go shopping, kind of stay home.
So right now you are avoiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that working well?
It's okay, it's not great. It's not a tendency to want to do those things.
Okay. So it sounds like you've brainstormed some ideas, you're trying to work on it, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So drawing on those skills, what do you think you could do what else do you think you could do to help you with this?
Probably download an app that lets me track how much I've spent, give myself budgets, and then put a cap on my credit cards just to make sure I can't spend a certain amount or over a certain amount.
Would you might also consider cutting some of your credit cards, or?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea too.
Okay.
I hadn't thought about that though.
Okay. So how about for homework then? Since we've talked a little bit about your strengths and your ideas that you have, how about before our next session, you research and download that app that you mentioned, and that way you can have an aid, a tool to help you in this. Does that sound like something that you could do?
Yeah, so that's something to do.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, we will plan on that. And are you available to meet the same time next week?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that'd be great. So before we finish up, I just want to ask, how has this helped you? Just thinking about this conversation.
Put my ideas kind of out there, made them a little bit more real instead of them being just in my head, overthinking them.
Okay, great. Well, I hope that this will continue to help you going further, and it was wonderful to meet you,
Good to meet you.
Isvin, and
Sure.
I look forward to working with you on this.